What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nature Kids, and today we'll be doing History Grade 6 English Medium Second Term Test Question and Answers Part 2. Okay, don't mind, I just randomly said what's up. Anyway, let's get started with the lesson. What is meant by the term settlement? A settlement is the first permanent residence of people who arrived in a country or area. Approximately when did the first people arrive in Sri Lanka? The first people arrived in Sri Lanka about 1205,000 years ago. What do you mean about? This is like, okay, it is about, but still, this is long. Anyway, from where did the earliest settlers come to Sri Lanka? According to the lesson, the earliest settlers came to Sri Lanka from a distant country about 1200 1025,000 years ago, like I said before. Although the exact country is not known, they believe to have migrated to the island and became the ancestors of the early inhabitants of Sri Lanka. What were the main ways of early settlers obtained food? They lived by hunting animals, gathering edible fruits, and collecting yams and other wild plants. Why did early settlers live in caves during the rainy season? Caves protected them from rain, wind, and wild animals. Why did they stay outside during the dry season? Because wild animals roamed outside, making hunting easier. Name 5 animals hunted by the early settlers. Deer, giant squirrel, hare, porcupine, tortoise, oh god, dear god. Okay, I'm okay with deer, but giant squirrel. Okay, hare. Okay, deer and hare, that's fine. But giant squirrel, porcupine, and tortoise, not the best delicacy, my guy. Anyway, name 3 plant foods eaten by the early settlers. Wild jackfruit, wild plantain, yams. Okay, wild plankton. This is not plankton from SpongeBob, by the way. No, we did not eat plankton. We ate plankton that grows on trees, I think. Anyway, what materials were used to make their tools? Stone, animal bones, and wood. Why is the earliest period called the Stone Age? Because most tools were made from stones. How did Stone Age people bury their dead? They buried the dead in caves with body curled up. What color was applied to some skeletons? Red ochre was applied. What does the use of red ochre show? It shows that they performed funeral rites and respected the dead. What evidence proves that Stone Age people wore jewelry? A necklace made from a shark tooth. Wait, there were sharks here? Okay. And ornaments made from shells have been discovered. Did Stone Age people have racial or religious differences? Explain. No, they lived as one community and did not identify themselves as Sinhalese, Tamils, or Muslim. What major changes took place about 4,500 to 5,000 years ago? People started farming, made pottery, began using iron tools. Finally! Where did Sri Lanka's earliest farmers live? They lived on plateaus in mountainous regions. What evidences prove that they cultivated grains? Grinding stones used to crush grains have been discovered. Name 3 important technologies developed by these early farmers: pottery making, iron production, and house building. Why were iron tools better than stone tools? Iron tools were stronger, sharper, and more effective. Describe the houses of early farmers. They built wattle and daub houses with roofs thatched using iluk or manna grass. Describe the funeral customs of early farmers. Buried the dead, later removed the bones, cremated them, placed the ashes in clay urns inside tombs. Which historical source describes the arrival of Prince Vijay, the Mahavamsa? In which year did Prince Vijay arrive in Sri Lanka? 544 BC. How many followers came with Prince Vijay? 700 followers. At which place did Prince Vijay land? Tambapani. Name the three tribes living in Sri Lanka when Prince Vijay arrived: Yaka, Naga, and Deva. Who was Kuweni? Kuweni was a Yaka woman. Okay, she's a beautiful, perfect, okay, not perfect, maybe, okay, she's a beautiful young woman who is not a demon. Yaka woman is just a tribe name. Who first captured Prince Vijaya's followers and later became his wife. Okay, maybe she is a demon. What happened after Prince Vijay became king? Defeated the Yakas, married a princess from the Pandya kingdom in India. His followers established settlements in Sri Lanka. Okay, this guy is part Satan. Name two villages established by Prince Vijaya's ministers. Upatissa built by Minister Upatissa. Anuradhapura built by Minister Anuradha. Explain why the Stone Age is named after stone tools. Okay, this is kinda obvious because Stone Age, stone tools, you made stone with stone. Anyway, stone was the main material used to make tools for hunting, cutting, and daily activities. So the period became known as the Stone Age. Okay, yeah, this is just a longer version of what I just said. Why can grinding stones be considered evidence of early agriculture? Grinding stones were used to crush grains, showing that early people collected or cultivated grains for food. Explain how the discovery of iron improved the lives of early people. Iron tools were stronger and lasted longer than stone tools, making farming, hunting, and building easier and more effective. Why is Mahavansa considered as an important historical source? Because it records important events in Sri Lanka's early history, including the arrival of Prince Vijay and the beginning of settlements. Compare the lifestyle of Stone Age hunters with that of early farmers. Stone Age hunters, early farmers, hunted animals, practiced agriculture, collected fruits and yams, grew grains, used mainly stone tools, used iron and stone tools, lived in caves, built wattle and houses, moved from place to place, lived in permanent settlements. And now we have the, okay, I'm not gonna even say it. Okay, no, this is not the short note, this is the long note. This is the really, really long note. Anyway, so first settlers arrived in 125,000 years ago. They lived by hunting and gathering. Stone Age tools were made by stone, bone, and wood. Stone Age people buried their dead and used red ochre in funeral rites. They wore ornaments made from shark teeth and shells. No racial or religious division existed during the Stone Age. Farming began about 2500 BC, and from now it's like 4,500 years ago. Early farmers made pottery and iron tools. Houses were built with clay, wattle, and thatch roofs. Mahavansa record the arrival of Prince Vijaya. Prince Vijaya arrived in 544 BC with 700 followers. He landed at Tambapani. The three tribes mentioned are Yaka, Naga, and Deva. Upadisagama and Anuradhapura were among the first settlements established after Prince Vijaya's arrival. So that's all for today, guys. Like and subscribe if you want more Eternal Suffering videos, and it makes me happy. So I'll see you guys in the next video, which I'll be uploading, I hope. Let's just say a few more days later. But until then, bye.